The Dreaming Tower Ballroom project is a participatory art project which aims to bring to life the memories and the recollections of all the people that have had something to do with the Tower Ballroom. The Edgbaston Reservoir and the Tower Ballroom go hand in hand. They're located right on the edge of Birmingham to the west of the city centre, on the borders of three districts, Edgbaston, Rotten Park and Ladywood. The reservoir originally, in the Middle Ages, was a roach pool, and then came along Thomas Telford in the 1820s and expanded it for a huge reservoir to supply water for the Birmingham Canal. But by the late 19th century, the area around the reservoir, the banks, became probably the premier pleasure grounds in Birmingham. You had big events taking place, exhibitions and bands, and you had theatres, outdoor theatres, and as well as that, you had a fairground. In the 1930s, there was also a Birmingham Blackpool Week, and in August they turned the whole of the pleasure grounds into a Blackpool Tower area. The Tower Ballroom came later, and it takes its name from two towers nearby, Perrotts Folly and the Waterworks Tower. The building was put up to house dancing and all-in wrestling. The all-in wrestling wasn't popular, that had to go, but the dancing continued, and from the 1930s, the Tower Ballroom became a great meeting place for the young people of Birmingham. In the 30s and 40s, it was a band leader called Les Douglas who was most famous. Then came Cliff Dearly. And later on, big acts like New Order, one of the biggest bands of the decade, played there 3 times. And on the third occasion in 1986, they were supported by the Wonder Stuff and the Happy Mondays. But there was also exhibitions, boxing tournaments, and lots of work do's there. It was like a Hollywood set in the tower, palm trees. It was something different. You're escaping from the back-to-backs of Ladywood or the back-to-backs of Windsor Green, and for working class people to go into that atmosphere, a Hollywood-type atmosphere, was exciting. But in 1963, Mecca took over. Don't forget, Mecca was huge. They had ballrooms like the Locarno and many more across the country. And they renamed it the Gay Tower, the Happy Tower. And it was happy for many people. I've had people contact me who said they met their wife or their husband there. So it was a really important part, the tower was, of the fabric of Birmingham's social life. It's important to bear in mind that the tower was not only a place that was open for dancing, it was also there as a community centre in many respects. So roller skating took place there, couples going around holding the hands. And when the reservoir froze over, instead of roller skating, of course, people would go onto the reser, as Brummies would call it, onto the reser with ice skating. Dick Turpin was one of the great names of British boxing in the 50s. I remember my dad telling me that he stayed up all night to listen to the fight live from America on a crackling wireless, and when he won the World Championship, he was a hero, and he appeared at the Tower in 1940. Muhammad Ali, well, what can you say? One of the greatest boxers of all time, but also a terrific human being who fought for racial justice and social justice. He too came to Edgbaston Reservoir and by the tower. So there's that bond with the past, the present and the future. There's been many exciting events that have taken place both at the tower and alongside and over the reservoir. For example, in 1873, Blondin, the famed French tightrope walker who'd gone across the River Niagara in 1859, he went across the reservoir as well. And you can see him doing it today. Well, not completely. He is a piece of public art going across the Ladywood Middleway, recollecting that famous occasion. The Tower Ballroom remained a hive of activity for dances, exhibitions, company events throughout the 80s and 90s. But sadly, a slow decline seemed to set in, and I know that when it finally closed as a dance hall, many people were deeply upset. Why were they upset? Because they had met there, they'd forged friendships there, they'd forged relationships there, and that's what made it such an important building. Not the structure itself, but the bonds that were made there. If you've got memories or stories or photographs of the Tower Ballroom, please share them with us. You can upload them to the website towerballroom.net or via social media.